Hi, everybody. This is an assignment for you, your last assignment for this semester. What I'm doing is giving you an event Proforma template, and I'm going to walk you through that using an example that I put together for an actual event that I am producing this coming October. So I want to give this to you, and what I'd like you to do is go through this on your own, but I'll explain it to you as I walk through my example. Now, this example is or it's an actual event, like I said. It's what I'm calling a not so formal beer tasting soiree, and it's for my other company, Cardinal Capital. And the goals of this, as you will see, well, let's go ahead and take a look. Proforma that I have set up, and I'm still working on it, so bear with me. But it is for a not so formal beer tasting soiree. This is the template that I've given you. I use it my entire career, and I keep messing with some of the formulas and adjusting them depending on what event I am putting on. Again, this is in Excel. It's in your assignment, and I believe in your lesson for this week. So here you have two different buckets. You have your event revenue and then your expense category. So what I've done is in this particular event, let me scroll down, you'll notice at the bottom there's a section for goal statements, and you can put any kind of goals in there. Again, go through that goal section and you'll talk about what or you'll see what I'm talking about. And I would include in this any weather or environmental factors that could affect the outcome of this particular event. I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. So the goal for this one is increase referral database by 100. So I want to add 100 new people to our referral database. And out of that, I want 5 new clients within 12 months after the event. Now, that is a SMART goal. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's time bound. The strategy that I'm deploying with this is I'm going to co-opt the event, meaning I'm going to share expenses in this case with one regional CPA firm, a business attorney firm, and a regional bank, and they're going to share expenses. The communications, this is an invitation only to existing and prospective referral clients, and plus their one, and I'm looking at around 250 people in total that I'm going to have attend this event. So plus or minus. Now let's go back up at the top. So ticket entrance fee, I'm going to say 300 people have replied, RSVP'd to this. There's no I'm not asking them to buy a ticket, but people will return. I'm not selling any retail, and I'm going to have a cash bar there. 300 people average about $7 per ticket, so that's $2,100 in revenue there. And this will be revenue to the venue in this particular case. I'm also going to have a raffle, $2 drawing, $2 per drawing. I'm estimating that 100 people will participate, and the revenue budget is it'll be $2, so we're looking at $200 there, for a grand total of $2,300 for this particular beer tasting event. Now, again, it's supposed to be high end, supposed to be educational, and while I say it's high end, it's not so formal, and you'd have to know it fits within some other communications and branding for my company. And here we go. Room rental is going to be about $450. At least this is what I'm budgeting. And here you go. Liquor, it's going to cost me about $4, 200 people per. Wine, I've estimated that 100 people will take this will drink wine at $4 a head. Beer, 300, because it is a beer tasting event. There'll be $5 a pop for that. And food tasting. I'm going to have some hors d'oeuvres, roughly $6 a head, and I believe there'll be about 250 people partaking in that. This 250 people, by the way, when you do an event, it's usually a per head cost. So you would add all these up and you'd come up with the total per head cost to have this particular event catered. In this case, we're doing kind of a hybrid between a restaurant that we're going to host this event at and a location that we're hosting this event at, and some distributors that are going to come in and do some things. Now, I've also all these categories here I've put in that are sometimes you sometimes have these expenses. I put them in there just to tease your your mind as to all these expenses, because most people don't realize how much is involved in one of these events. So I put these categories in here so it makes you think about it when you're setting up these events. So you're looking at utensils, plates, glassware, table service, linens, sodas, waters, all this other stuff. Food giveaways. I could have put the food tasting in there, but nonetheless, it's documented here. The equipment rental, risers, booths, staging, all of these things, washing stations, fencing. If it was a big outdoor event or concert, of course, you'd need all this. I don't. Decor, if I've got any coming in here, these are all disposable. Flowers, plants, those kind of things, they can get damaged or they can go away pretty easily or be damaged pretty easily. I've just put in some placeholders here for table tents and table decorations. We're going to have little four toppers, stand up four toppers all throughout the bar. They exist there and they're coming with the room rental. Save the date cards. I'm going to have those. Of course, there's going to be heavy email invitations, so there's no expense associated with that. We're going to have programs. In other words, what are you tasting and those types of things. Signs, go here. Once you arrive at the location, this is where you get to the room. Name badges and just miscellaneous other printed materials here. Bulk mailing. Yes, I'm going to send everyone 4 glasses. So for tastings, so I've got 1,200 of these. They're about $2 a pop, so it's $2,400. These are logoed glasses that I want them to leave with. There will be additional mail house charges, about 55 cents for these items. I'm going to have some gifts for the participants, for the people who bring their beer to be tasted and sampled, and to give us an educational overview of what they're tasting. And then you can go through all of this. You can see all the other categories that can come up in an event. You may have a different event. Okay. Again, entertainment, publicity. I've got I've got a photographer, web designer, and videographer here. AV equipment. Of course, I've got video equipment and a projector so they can do the presentations for the particular beer. I'm going to live stream this. There's going to be some costs associated with it because we are going to have that hosted on a proprietary server. There's all kinds of miscellaneous expenses here, and I'm skipping through this pretty quick, but there's some logic behind this. And as you can see, this total event, just given the very few items I have there, is just under 10 grand. And that gives me a loss of $7,265. What I want you to notice here is my goal was not to make money on this event. My goal was to increase my referrals by getting all these people together and co-oping the expenses with other companies. I've basically taken this event and I've divided it by 4, which is my personal out-of-pocket expense for my company. And what I would do is after this event, I'd take all my receipts and I would fill in all this column here, and it would give me a variance. Where this comes into play is if we decide to do this 3, 4, 5 years in a row, I can look back on this and I can have a better idea of expenses that I did not realize that occurred. And I can gain some pretty good history on this so I can judge what the expense would be in the future. Now, in the casino business, when I ran a handful of casinos and marketing departments, I would have every event we would do, every drawing, every tournament, every giveaway, I would require them to have these proformas outlined and detailed. And I would require them to have a return on investment or a margin floor and ceiling. So it had to fit within certain operational parameters. The only caveat for that is if I did not have a revenue driver for those. So if it was a purely awareness, or if it was a nonprofit that I was helping benefit, or some other goal, I would waive the profit and loss or the margin that I'm looking at these events driving. So that is it for this one. You will have a blank copy of this. And let me get off of this and I'll come back to me. So what I want you to do is come up with your own event, okay? And I want you to go through this. Ideally, it's an event that you've been to already, either as a participant, you went to a concert, you went to a wedding, those types of things, or something you want to do in the future. If you're involved in a social group, in a fraternal organization or sorority, and you have something coming up, write these down, okay? What's important here is for you to go through the exercise and learn that there are more expenses associated with most events than people really realize. So, as your career expands and as you get into the working world, I want you to be able to look into um, what all goes into the overall hard costs, the expenses, out of pocket expenses required for putting on an event. So, if someone asks you, was this event successful? You can say, well, the goal was to do this. And I can tell you whether we made money or not because you've got it documented and you did the work prior to that. And, Mr. Powell told you how to do these things. So, what I want you to do is submit a Proforma to me for an event. And I want you to tell me what event it is. Give me the dates and give me any background you would like. But I want you to go through this exercise and think about it a little bit. This is the last exercise that we have this semester. So hopefully you get the hang of it and hopefully you understand where this is kind of all comes together. We've covered a lot of revenue management in this class for a variety of topics and a variety of disciplines, primarily in the hotel world. But as you hopefully saw, those can be applied even at the micro level for events. But those lessons that you have and those concepts can be applied throughout the hospitality business. So if you have any questions on any of this, please reach out to me. You know where to find me. By the way, I'm in Minnesota right now where it's a whopping 50 degrees outside. Not bad for May. And I look forward to seeing your performance. Thanks.